This week, a big green ogre made storybook characters in Shrek.
Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci are lovers in The Man Who Cried.
And Nicole Kidman is a dancehall diva in Moulin Rouge.
This has got to be the first movie to utilize Nirvana and The Sound of Music.
I think there's a pretty good chance that's true.
I've tried to be fair to you creatures. Now my patience has reached its end. Tell me, or I'll...
No, not the button! Not that gumdrop button!
You know animated movies are evolving when they start torturing the gingerbread man. I'm Richard Roeper.
And I'm Roger Ebert. Evil Lord Farquaad, the villain of Shrek, hates fairy tale characters. He banishes them to the swamp where Shrek, an ogre, lives in lonely isolation, and that drives Shrek nuts. He values his privacy. So when Farquaad needs a mercenary to rescue a beautiful princess from a dragon, Shrek takes the job if he can get rid of Pinocchio, Tinkerbell, the 3 blind mice, the 3 little pigs, the 3 bears, and everybody else who's messing up his solitude. But a talking donkey insists on staying.
Please, I don't want to go back there. You don't know what it's like to be considered a freak. Well, maybe you do, but that's why we got to stick together. You got to let me stay, please, please.
Okay, okay.
Eddie Murphy is brilliant in this movie as the voice of the donkey, and that's Mike Myers with his Scottish brogue as Shrek, the jolly green ogre. Together, they go on a mission to battle the dragon and bring back the princess.
Just keep moving, and don't look down.
Look down. Look down. Keep on moving. And don't look down. Don't look down. Keep on moving and don't look down. Shrek, I'm looking down.
Cameron Diaz does the voice of Princess Fiona. She couldn't care less about Lord Farquaad and assumes that she's destined to marry the brave knight who rescued her.
You may remove your helmet, good Sir Knight.
No.
Why not?
I have helmet hair.
Please, I would look upon the face of my rescuer.
No, you wouldn't. Just.
But how will you kiss me?
What? That wasn't in the job description.
Maybe it's a perk.
You can sense in that clip there that Shrek is something special. There's a lifelike feel to the look of the animated characters who are convincing and lovable and seem to be made of real flesh and bones. The movie is funny, satirical, and filled with reference to other movies and digs at popular culture. It was produced by DreamWorks, Disney's arch rival, and it takes some shots at Disney icons, but then it takes shots at just about everybody's icons, and I think they're basically affectionate. The movie has a remarkable visual feel. The characters have weight, volume, and texture. The action sequences are exhilarating, and the screenplay is fun for kids and adults at the same time, but on different levels. I loved it.
I like this movie a lot as well, and you're right. I mean, the rippling of clothes and when wind blows the hair, it's much more realistic than I think we've ever seen in any animated movie. I mean, every 5 minutes there's an advancement in the technology, but it also has a real mean edge that I really appreciated. I mean, there's stuff that goes on in here that you're going, I can't believe I just saw this in an animated film, but it will give you several laugh-out-loud moments.
You know, it's not a gross film in the sense that South Park is gross, but I think it participates in the revolution where teenagers in particular are now looking at animation in a different way as a satirical tool and as a kind of a weapon against society. And this movie is not mean.
It's more wicked.
It's okay for kids, but it
and
is
wicked with
sort
the
of
humor.
Sly,
yeah, there's a lot of great stuff going on here. Okay, our next movie is Calle 54, a gloriously rich documentary about Latin jazz that's smart enough to let the music speak for itself with just occasional breaks to hear the musicians' stories. Now, in a way, this is a concert film because for the most part we get to enjoy the tunes in their entirety, but the musicians don't play in front of an audience. They're playing in a color-coordinated, stylized studio setting. They're playing for each other and for the camera. Among the dozen or so greats captured by director Fernando Trueba is the late Tito Puente.
Quiero presentarles algunos murales que tenemos aquí, porque esto es para nuestra juventud, para que ellos siempre se acuerden de nuestra música y nuestra cultura.
Trueba provides voiceover anecdotes about most of these weathered old pros, including the Cuban saxophonist Paquito de Rivera.
Paquito de Rivera nació con un saxo en la mano. Su padre, Tito Rivera, saxofonista clásico, le encargó su primer saxo cuando Paquito solo tenía 3 años.
creative Chano Dominguez, whose fingers dance staccato ballets across the keyboard, is also featured. Even though each of these greats has a life story worthy of an entire film, Trueba keeps the non-musical segments to a bare minimum. He's not trying to make grand social statements or provide a Ken Burns-like history of jazz. He's giving us a showcase for some breathtakingly original music. If you're a big jazz fan, you'll appreciate the respect Trueba has for the work, how he lets the momentum of each song build without self-conscious camera moves or maddening interruptions. If you don't know these musicians, Calle 54 is a wonderful introduction to their art.
Boy, it sure is. And you know, looking at this film, I was reminded of a criticism I had of Buena Vista Social Club, which was also, in its own way, a wonderful story, but they kept interrupting the music to show the old guys walking around New York and looking at the Chrysler building and so forth, and I wanted to hear them perform. And here, that's what they do. He uses more than one camera. He circles these orchestras and soloists as they're on these sound stages, and we see their faces, we see their fingers, we really feel their vibe.
And that simplicity makes jazz, this jazz, which sometimes is a tough form of music to get into, it lets you appreciate the music, and halfway through the song you're starting to understand what's going on, and when they improvise you're into it, and it's just really just beautifully done.
I've seen Tito Puente in person, but on screen the camera is so close, he's singing along with his fingers as he plays.
This is maybe the last performance of his that was captured on film.
It could be. Boy, it's great. Later in the show, Nicole Kidman is a dance hall girl in Moulin Rouge.
I believe you were expecting me.
And coming up next, Christina Ricci is a dancer with a broken heart in The Man Who Cried.
I could stay and fight with you.
You need to fight for yourself.
If you want to make a man want you, and only you must smile. You must listen. You always listen. He needs attention. Men, you see, they are very, very fragile.
In pre-war Paris, a London girl played by Christina Ricci learns from her chorus girlfriend, Kate Blanchett, how to capture a rich lover in The Man Who Cried. But for Ricci's character, it's more complicated than that. She's a Jew from Russia, separated from her family years before and adopted in England. And now, with the Nazis marching on Paris, she's powerless as a Jewish opera impresario, played by Harry Dean Stanton, faces down an anti-Semitic tenor, played by John Turturro.
If Italy allies herself with Germany against France, then I'm afraid your position here as an Italian in Paris will not be an enviable one.
Is that a threat?
A threat? From me? Dante, the Germans are in northern France, heading for Paris. And my name is Perlman.
She falls in love with a gypsy who has a minor role in the production and defends him against Turturro's racist slurs. He's played by Johnny Depp.
I don't need anyone to fight for me.
I was fighting for myself.
And you say I'm dirty? You who are one of them, the gadget, the unclean.
Now, these clips might make The Man Who Cried look like a routine historical docudrama, but it's a lot more than that. It's an ambitious and moving film directed by Sally Potter, who made The Tango Lesson a couple of years ago. She dares to give us a leading character who hides her emotions and doesn't say much. This woman is not always looking for our approval. The little girl ripped away from her family in the opening scenes grows up to trust nobody and feel little joy. She even approaches her love affair with the gypsy in a fatalist state of mind, assuming it's going to be doomed. Christina Ricci generates enormous sympathy for her character here, and the story is melodramatic but truthful at the same time.
It is melodramatic, and I liked it, and it's a weird movie. There are accents flying all over the place here. It's almost like they're deliberately going over the top.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's very serious subject matter, but there are a lot of laughs in here, and it's almost like they're acknowledging a lot of movie cliches. I mean, Johnny Depp is a white steed for most of this movie, even when he's like going down the streets of Paris, and we get it. Okay, he's the knight in shining armor, and we get all the symbolism of the horse and everything, but it's just oddly compelling, and Christina Ricci is a unique actress. There's nobody else quite like her. She's very small, too. She's next to Kate Blanchett, and there's this thing going on there, but they don't try to hide that, and I like that about it as well.
She's very solemn and very introspective. At the same time, you have Turturro, who's all over the map with his grand gestures and his operatic ego. You know, where basically the entire war is a major interference with his career.
Okay, coming up next, Nicole Kidman is a dance hall diva in Moulin Rouge.
I can't fall in love with anyone and make men believe what they want to believe.
And looking ahead to next week's show, Marilyn Monroe's final film is just one of the features on our special show, DVD Bells and Whistles.
You're my two sweethearts. My two best sweethearts in the whole world.
The city of Paris cartwheels into the 20th century in Moulin Rouge, a vibrant kaleidoscope of music, dance, color, and sensuality from Romeo and Juliet director Baz Luhrmann. Ewan McGregor is Christian, an aspiring writer who joins the bohemian underworld and quickly falls for the actress and courtesan Satine, played by Nicole Kidman. But her favors have been purchased by the powerful Duke who underwrites a lavish spectacle starring Satine. The clandestine lovers conspire to keep her out of the Duke's lecherous clutches.
I haven't quite finished writing that new scene. Will the lovers be meeting at the sitar player's humble abode scene? And I wondered if I could work on it with you later tonight.
But, my dear, I've arranged a magnificent supper for us in the Gothic Tower.
Well, it's not important. We could work on it tomorrow.
Oh, how dare you? It cannot wait until tomorrow.
Much of the story is told in elaborate musical numbers, and Kidman and McGregor are more than equal to the challenge. They can really sing. When the Duke finally realizes Christian and Satine are having an affair, he wants Christian dead. The Moulin Rouge impresario Harold Zidler, played by Jim Broadbent, intervenes.
Make him believe you don't love him.
No.
Use your talent to save him. Hurt him. Hurt him to save him.
Moulin Rouge plays like a film version of the most expensive Broadway musical ever made. Luhrmann fills the screen with astonishing production numbers that feature a cast of hundreds, if not thousands, and I thought the music selections were brilliant. We get everything from a chorus of tuxedo-clad gents singing Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit to an extended version of Elton John's Your Song that is just beautiful. Kidman gives one of her best performances as the fragile, wounded Satine, and McGregor is impressive as a leading man and a pop singer. This may not be an old-fashioned musical, but it's an inspired variation on the genre. I had a great time at the Moulin Rouge.
So did I. You know, it's funny that 2 weeks in a row with Night's Tale last week and this movie this week, you have movies set in the past with songs from the last 20 years.
Right.
And it works both times. This movie has a plot from 19th century opera. It has a look from 1950 Hollywood musicals. And it has a visual style from current music videos.
Yeah, but the musical selections here are much more creative and original and complex. I mean, I think this is a much better version of what they try to do in A Knight's Tale.
Oh, yeah, well, I know that, but what I'm trying to say is that the movie is doing all of this wall-to-wall stuff from beginning to end with such high energy and so much exuberance and combining all of this stuff from the last century, basically, into one big pot and stirring it up and reinventing the musical. You know, the musical has been dead, basically, for years. This may show younger audiences why older audiences liked the musicals 50 years ago.
And Luhrmann fills every inch of the screen with something at every moment. I mean, this is a movie that loves movies.
Yes, it is. Our next film is a documentary named Startup.com, and it could also be called Shutdown.com, since it chronicles the rise and fall of the internet bubble. Its heroes are Khalil Azaza Tuzman and Tom Herman, childhood friends who during the course of the movie win and lose millions of dollars, all on paper. Their web-based company, GovWorks.com, is designed to do things for cities, like collecting parking tickets. It looks destined for success.
I want to toast my partner and brother Rat, Tom.
And back at you.
And all of you for all of the wonderful, wonderful work in making this dream a reality.
Their personal lives suffer, and they operate on little sleep while riding the tiger of the internet boom, but then the bottom falls out.
Friday, the 14th of April, 2000, no less the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. A Titanic struggle today for investors. In pointage terms, it has never been this messy, and it has never been this bad.
What looked like a rosy dream for two friends suddenly turns grim.
I think we're personally at risk. I've had some pretty ugly conversations with board members over the last couple of days.
And so what were you saying, that the board would consider getting rid of us because of this?
Yep.
The irony is that GovWorks.com goes broke and is sold just as it finally breaks even and lands a big New York City contract. It's clear in the movie that everyone involved was convinced you could burn a lot of money in the beginning because you'd earn it all back in the end. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. It's also clear that the actual job of GovWorks, which theoretically is designing good web pages that will serve a market, took second place to the distractions of floating the IPO, promoting the company, and dreaming of the future. There are a million stories on the web, and a lot of them are just like the one in startup.com.
They capture it so well here. Yeah, there's a scene very late in the process where they realize that their search engine is terrible. They've already gotten tens of millions of dollars for this company, and now they're going, oh, there's a problem with the actual product. I really like this movie, and the access, obvious, to these two guys. They thought they were going to be Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. So their cockiness and confidence allowed them to say, oh, fine. Document everything we do because this is going to be a great story. It's much more interesting because it all falls apart.
No, this is the kind of documentary I like, where it turns out differently than anyone could have anticipated when they start shooting it. And it's true. All of the emphasis is on the IPO and talking to the venture capitalists and being on talk shows and eating in restaurants and driving in cars and talking on cell phones. And you hardly ever see them looking at a monitor and saying,
making the product work.
This page sucks.
Henry Ford knew how to make the Model T before he would be meeting the president. Here we see Calle. He's hanging out with Bill Clinton before the company ever becomes anything. It's a fascinating documentary. Okay, coming up next, my video spotlight shines on the underappreciated Marissa Tomei.
You want to come up?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe I asked him up. Am I ready for him to come up?
Bring home the funniest movie since Aladdin.
Oh, yeah.
You turned me into a llama.
Right. Get into the groove.
You did that on purpose.
Emperor's New Groove, now on video and Disney DVD.
Ebert and Roeper in the Movies Video Spotlight is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. Try Raisinets in new convenient resealable bags.
Winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1992 for My Cousin Vinny didn't exactly catapult Marissa Tomei to superstardom. In fact, she was the unwitting subject of an unfair and totally untrue urban legend that her name was accidentally announced as the winner that night. While she hasn't become a leading lady, Tomei has continued to work steadily, and lately she's been finding better material. In What Women Want, Tomei plays a coffee server/actress who fends off the advances of the womanizing Mel Gibson.
I can't take no for an answer.
About what?
About what? About us.
Just don't hurt me, Nick. I've been hurt too many times.
When a freak accident gives Gibson the ability to read women's minds, he's able to manipulate Tomei into bed, but he's not liking what he's hearing.
God, I hope he's better with the light on. He's all over the place. Just do it already so I can start faking it. Is Britney Spears on Leno tonight? You okay?
Nothing against Helen Hunt, but I wish Tomei had played the lead in What Women Want. She's more beautiful than she was a decade ago. She has such a winning quality that it's a shame she's usually relegated to second-tier roles in movies like this and the recent Someone Like You. Now that the writer's strike has been averted, here's hoping somebody writes the part for Marissa Tomei, who's the reason What Women Want is in my video spotlight.
When we come back, the movie Answer Man is in. And now it's time for the movie Answer Man. And Brandon Tomasello of Jacksonville, Florida, writes about news reports that the Cartoon Network is yanking some of the titles from its annual Bugs Bunny Marathon because they contain offensive ethnic stereotypes. So what's up with that, Doc? Well, of course, almost all cartoons are innocent and timeless, but I've occasionally been jarred by images that are clearly offensive. African Americans and Mexicans and Indians seen as stereotypes. Those old images have the power to hurt. And adults may be able to look at those older movies and make allowances for the historical context of ancient cartoons, but kids see them differently and more directly and don't have any filters in between, and we don't need to give life to those hurtful images in a new generation. The movie Answer Man thinks the Cartoon Network is doing the right thing.
Okay, recapping this week's movies, 2 big thumbs up for the groundbreaking Shrek, 2 more thumbs up for Calle 54, 2 thumbs up for Christina Ricci and The Man Who Cried, 2 more thumbs up for the lavish Moulin Rouge, and 2 thumbs up for the internet documentary Startup.com.
Remember, you can hear our reviews at Ebert-Roeper-Movies.com and read us in print at suntimes.com. Next week, we'll be back with a special show about DVD bells and whistles. And until then, the balcony is closed.
You know, we haven't had an all-thumbs-up show probably since last holiday season.
Yeah, but my thumb is highest up, I think, for Shrek, because that one really does stand in a category of its own.
I like Shrek a lot, but I like Moulin Rouge even better. I really, really enjoyed every second of that movie.